Hello, my name is Tanner Litchfield. I am a realtor and an investor based here in Utah. Today, I'm going to talk about my portfolio. I have 13 units spanned from Washington to Utah. I lived in Washington up until 18 months ago, so that's where that comes from. I'm going to talk about the strategy I used to acquire these. I'm going to talk about the purchase price and what they rent for. So to begin, I'll tell you about how I got started in real estate investing. And it really all started with someone recommended Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book. And like a lot of investors, I read the book, dove into it, and it was so simple and I was intrigued. From there, I started listening to the BiggerPockets Podcast. This helped me learn the language of real estate investing. It helped me learn different strategies so that I knew what strategy I was going to go after. And so I wanted to go after the buy and hold strategy. I was in tech sales. I was making pretty good money for my age. And I just wanted to put my money aside for real estate. And so when I looked into BiggerPockets at the time, my metric was that I was going to find an 8% cash on cash deal. And so we'll go to my first acquisition, which was a 4-unit in Moses Lake, Washington, which was a very cheap cash flow market in Washington. I paid $345,000. I did absolutely zero rehab, and my rents were $3,250. So it cash flowed well. I hit my 8% cash on cash. And the strategy I used to acquire this was a conventional loan. Back then, interest rates were low. This was back in 2020, 2019, can't remember. And my rate on this one is a 3.625. So it's hard to beat. So as you can see, it's 2 duplexes on one lot. So I'll slide through this. This is one of the duplexes. That's the other. It's on a decent chunk of land, and there is some garages in the back right next to this beautiful water tower that says Moses Lake. And so this property has done well for me. It's easy cash flow. My property manager in place is absolutely wonderful. I don't have to think about the property a lot, and that's the benefit of it. So now that's a good transition into the next property that wasn't so hands off. So whether this was a year later, whenever it was, we acquired this one through conventional financing. However, this one was not so smooth. This is a 3-unit in Snohomish. It has a single family in the front and a duplex in the back. And this was an extensive rehab. We hit our numbers on this one, luckily, but there was a lot of bumps in the road on the construction side. Construction will never be one of my top skills. Hopefully, I'll get better at it, but this was a huge learning lesson. And so this one we bought for $550. We rehabbed it quite a bit, and our rents are $5,250. So this is a good one. One of my favorite parts about this 3-unit is the next door neighbor is building brand new townhomes. So that tells me that Snohomish is an up and coming area and there is value in this land. I think they built 4 townhomes here and they sold them at about like 600, 650 each. So who knows, down the road, we might develop some townhomes here. Okay, so that's the 4-unit, the 3-unit. Now let's move on. This one is also in Moses Lake, Washington. This was a cash deal. I did a flip. I had some cash sitting, and so I bought this one cash for $105,000. We're actually looking at the backyard. This one's sort of funky. It is a single-family house that is connected to another via a carport. And so we bought this for $105,000. We put about $60,000 to $70,000. I can't remember the exact number. And it appraised at $247,000. So we pulled out our money. It breaks even right now with high interest rates. And I say a true break even. So our interest rate is in the 7s, and it carries itself. But the good thing is we have like $60,000 of equity in this. It takes care of itself. We have a good property manager in there, and the equity is there. Again, I don't know how much of these single family deals I'll do anymore. It was a lot of work for the rehab. And so I'd rather do some bigger projects. So now we're going to talk about this one. Now, a lot of people claim their primary residence is a liability. I believe that to a degree. Um, and I'll get into this. So my primary residence, there's so much maintenance in it, and it does feel like a money pit a lot of the time. However, at some point, I am going to move out of this property and it will do well for me. So I'm going to include this in my portfolio. This is 2 units right now because the reason I bought this house is it had a basement entrance already ready. So we bought the house. It fit our needs. It's got a welcoming area for entertaining. We had moved from Washington, so home prices in Utah seemed a lot cheaper. And so we got into a beautiful home, much more than we need. But with this one, our interest rate was 5.75%. And the benefit is that now we finished our basement. We put about 70,000, 60,000 to finish our basement. And now that's bringing in 1,700. And so it helps offset our mortgage. And when we move out, we'll have those 2 units to rent out. So now I'll show you, here's the floor plan of the basement that we converted into a rental unit. So still somewhat of a liability, but here we are. So now on the last property, this is a 3 unit in South Salt Lake that we finally got through due diligence. And so it should be closed here in the next 15 days. This one is a side-by-side triplex. We are getting rid of the swamp coolers and putting AC units in. And then this is just a clean deal, right? So the last several were all traditional on the financing side. And this one is seller finance, 4.5% interest rate, interest only, and it'll cash flow well. And it's in an area that I believe is going to grow in the future. So keep in mind, this is where my portfolio stands at right now. In the past 6 years, I have gotten rid of certain properties that weren't a specific fit. And so yeah, I have acquired and gotten rid of several properties other than these, but I am trying to simplify my portfolio. All of these right now are small multifamily besides that one in Moses Lake. And so that will probably be the next one I'm getting rid of as I move more into multifamily. But the key here, how do you acquire more real estate? Number one, have a specific buy box. You need to understand what you're after because people will throw deals at you and you're not going to understand when to pull the trigger. Number two, how do you get money to buy these deals? Active income is crucial in the world of real estate investing. You have to figure out how to get money in the front door. For me, being a realtor and being an investor that sources deals for others helps me bring money in the door so that I can acquire more real estate. Number three, make sure you're confident in your strategy. You may have seen a video where I lost $180,000 on a subject to deal. There's intricacies involved in real estate investing. Have mentors, people that you respect, bounce back ideas before you actually pull the trigger. And so now I lost those 2 units that were sub 2. I would have been at 15. But I'm trying to simplify my strategy. I am after peace of mind a lot more than I am trying to scale to ability that gets rid of that peace of mind for me. So that's my portfolio. Hopefully you learned something in this video. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these YouTube videos, and I'd love for you to follow on the journey. Thank you.